creator source told me to go. So I went downstairs and I saw this person that I saw almost a year ago and thought they were attractive. And I was like, oh my God, because I had thought about them again. I had wanted to see them again. So I did when I went to the gym. And normally I don't start conversations first. If I like someone, I'm usually approached and pursued. So I've been approached and pursued since I was little. High school, middle school, what have you, more so in high school. So, but I felt inclined to just put myself out there and say something. So I was like, you're the person I met on the elevator, right? I don't know when I saw him on the elevator. And I was like, yeah, so he got my Instagram and my details, and then offered to take me out on a date. And so I think we went out on a date like a few days after that. It was at a pizza shop or what have you. But prior to that, he was really laying it on thick, like bringing up, children, how he wants his children raised. And I guess this was a love bomb. The episode is called Never Bump Your Head, which I had a traumatic brain injury. I was 6 months in, and I did see a meme. It wasn't a meme, but it was for like people with traumatic brain injuries, talking about how it's really easy for people to gaslight you and love bomb you during this time because you're not making the connection. And I was not making the connection. And prior to this, I had kept myself out of toxic. We weren't in an official relationship. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say I was. It wasn't official. But he claimed he wasn't seeing anybody else, and I was the only one he was dating, even though I asked him. Anyway, so it wasn't clicking. And so I kept myself out of this situation for a very long time. Like prior to this, I was celibate for like 15 going on 16 years, because I was in the church heavy prior. We weren't even like allowed to date, allowed to have any sexual, nothing. And then I was terminally ill. I was ill for a long, long time, like several years, over 7 years. So there was no doing that. My last boyfriend, who was, my family knew, was 2017. But then he got crazy, started being verbally abusive. Now, y'all heard me say crazy, but let me tell you something. I don't call all my boyfriends crazy. I had 2 more before him that were amazing. So don't think I'm one of those people, oh, she calls all her boyfriends crazy. No, but that last one, 2017, he was like very verbally abusive, very hurtful, just did too much, child. Did too much. So he had good points. Like I said, this episode is not to bash anybody. It's really just to get it out, because I'm just going to get it out because I just feel like talking, because it's Gemini season and I'm Gemini dominant. I'm a Cancer sun and I'm a Gemini in sidereal. So I'm going to say what I feel like saying. And if you want to say what you feel like saying to me, feel free. But people don't know how to have conversations. And that was the big problem with this last person that I was dating. So anyway, he was, bringing up, so I didn't deal with anybody. I was celibate. So he was really laying it on thick. So this was probably a love bomb. Probably was, honestly, and I don't think he said it, but now that it's clicking, he probably just wanted to get something out of me or get in my pants or what have you. And that was his way. Sometimes men will lie. Sometimes men will lie to get what they want. And it's coercion, But see, like I said, I'm not the type to go to the cops and always report people. That gets tiresome. But if it gets too far, then you have to do what you have to do. But I'm not the type, oh, it's coercion, blah, 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 blah. Because I do think we as women need to take accountability for sometimes playing our roles and being kind of stupid too in the process. So it's not all on the men. There are women who just, everything's the man's fault. Everything's not their fault. You know what I mean? But in my case, I had a brain injury. So things were not clicking. And I'm used to people like really investing in me, really treating me like an empress. I mean, granted, I've had some bad relationships, but they still invested in me. They still made sure I ate. They still checked on me. Like this last one was just bad. Like, dude, you were bad. If you're tuning in and I told you you were the worst, it's in the text messages, which I have right here. I will pull out receipts. But I'm not, holding a grudge against anybody. I don't care at this point. Did I care and get upset? Yes. So let me do the rundown. So I went out on a date. It's very hard to get in my pants. It's very hard to get me to do anything. And I'm usually not a very trusting person at all. I trust people to be themselves, but to be a trusting individual, no. So I was shocked when after the date I went back to his place. I didn't do anything. We didn't do anything. I think we just cuddled and watched movies after, the date. And then I basically slept over. But again, didn't do anything. I have morals, I have standards, blah, 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 blah. And he was supposed to take me to Park City and Disney. And I'm like, again, wasn't clicking because I'm thinking I met my soulmate. I met my person. So, oh boy. Okay. But anyway, so I'm like, I'm going to Parks. I was like so excited. I was like, oh, I get to spend time with someone. Maybe I will give my body to this person. Like I said, it was like 16 years. I could wait. I know how to. I went on a spiritual journey. I know how to cool that down. Where some people don't, I do. If you put me with a dude, a good looking ass dude in a jail cell, say we both got jail time, he got 20 years, I got 20 years, God forbid, I would be able to just sit there. I was never the type of person to cheat, to just pounce on anything. I'm not a loose person. Do I have a body? Do I look good? Absolutely. But I don't give it to a lot of people at all. It takes a lot to get into my pants. A lot. And it's rare. I still don't have like a full 3 fingers as to who made it that far, y'all. And I'm 34 years old. So I'm proud of myself. Like, not even like a full 2. Honestly, I just don't do those things with people like that. It's just, I'm just chosen of God. Okay. Sometimes people think, even my last boyfriend, it didn't even get that far. 2017. People just like my energy. They like my aura, but he was so verbally abusive. I'm like, I don't want to pounce on you, dude. So it didn't even get that far with him. So, but anyway, so the last one I remember bringing up on, we were having a lot of fun. It was fun. The date was fun, but I remember we were talking about like astrology signs, and I was bringing up like how some Sagittarius, they live double lives. Like they could have secret families and stuff, because y'all do. And sometimes Sagittarians will, not take accountability because they're ruled by Jupiter, and they feel like they're lucky and they're God's chosen and they're God's sent. And I need to just do a whole thing on Sagittarians, because y'all be attracted to me, but then y'all don't act right. Like, what the fuck? Like, I think it was, how many did I deal with? 2, 3, maybe 3, 2. Is it 3 now? Is it 2? Stay away from me. I'm just kidding. A higher vibrational one is the best. But sometimes they'll think that they don't do anything wrong because they feel so lucky all the time and they can't do, and optimistic. And so it's like, even in my wrongdoings, I'm not wrong and I'm still chosen. I'm still going to be favored. And it's like, no, you fuck up. So it was fun. So I said that and then went home. Did he say be safe? I don't know what the hell he said. But I didn't get his number. Still had me on Instagram. He wasn't liking any like photos or anything. Bitch. But we were supposed to schedule like a second date, and he didn't. And I remember I had, because he was always reaching out to me. I have the text messages, I have screenshots of the DMs as well. He was always reaching out to me, and I said, let me reach out to him. And so I did, and he didn't read it. And it was like a week went by, and I didn't talk to him for a whole week after talking to him. So again, here we go again. It wasn't clicking. He wasn't interested, and he traveled for work. And so here he appears again, because again, Sagittarius, he was a Sagittarius Capricorn. Like, when the devil will send you a Sagittarius Capricorn just to see if you're gonna end your own life in the process. That's a double whammy. That's like Freddy versus Jason saying, well, how are we gonna have a field day with this innocent soul? And so I saw him at the gym. I said, oh, I messaged you, but then I unsent it because you didn't read it. He was like, oh, you're such a child. Here we go. Again, not taking accountability, gaslighting. And I was like, oh, I was joking, but I'm blunt. Like, you don't have to beat around the bush with me. And I was like, oh, you must be talking to somebody else. You must be dealing with somebody else. So it was like, it was kind of clicking, but then he's like, no, I was just busy. He was like, no, just making money, blah, 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 blah. I didn't really care. I was like, you could tell me the truth. All I really wanted to know was the truth. So I knew how to maneuver. But again, wasn't clicking. Because it's like, you could have maneuvered anyway. You were single. But he was basically saying, and I had asked him early on, but I wasn't asking him. I wasn't trying to pin him down. I'm a very detached person. I mean, I was celibate for 16 years. It's hard to get me as a girlfriend. It's hard to get me committed to anybody. It's hard to get me, period. I mean, I moved to Utah away from family. I know I've traveled to like 40 out of 50 states. I'm a very detached individual. And so when I asked him, I didn't ask him, what are we? I was just saying, like, I asked him, I said, are you talking to, other people? And I said, because if you are, that's totally fine. I was just trying to be upfront. He got mad at me. I could see it in his face. And it reminded me of when I was in high school dealing with the guy that mushed me in mine. He made a similar face. I was like, ooh, I don't know about you, dude. Like, did I push a button just asking a freaking question? Like, I felt like I had to walk on eggshells. But I was just trying to ask, just to be like, if you're going to talk to other people, I'll talk to other people. And that way, there was no pressure. There was no, me wondering who he's talking to, why he's talking to so-and-so, blah, 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 blah. So he said, no, you're the only one that I'm talking to. I said, well, what would you tell other people about me if they asked you? And he would say, I'm dating her. But he made it clear that, we were both single, just dating, And so I said, okay. So he did say I was welcome over his house anytime. But at the same time, he didn't invite me over. I felt like I couldn't message him because when I did, there was no answer. So here goes the mind games and the manipulation and the playing around. Like, I'm like, what are we doing? So I only saw him when I went to the gym. And then he would invite me back to his house when I saw him at the gym. We also didn't do anything a second time. Maybe a little bit. But like I said, I was celibate for 16 years. I don't really regret anything that happened. Did I have full-blown sex with the person? No. Was it enough? Yeah, but I wouldn't say that it was like I wasn't completely, I guess I kind of wasn't celibate. I wasn't celibate, but anyway, I don't regret that. I mean, you can't live your life regretting stuff. Like I said, I take accountability. I wanted to do stuff, so, I didn't do anything I'm not gonna really go into detail, but I didn't really do it. I didn't do anything because I'm like, I didn't feel like he really cared. I didn't feel like he really cared. Like, I remember I was stranded at Lake Mary, was it? And he saw the post, was like watching my stories. He didn't reach out, are you okay? Blah, 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 blah. And I told him that. I said, I feel like you don't care. And so then when I told him and said, you know, I mean, when he told me he wasn't talking to anybody, I'm like, okay. But he would get triggered. Like if I posted something in my stories, because I'm like, okay, we're both single, so it doesn't matter. So I would just post certain things in my stories, and it wasn't a big deal. Like I would post something like how men are protective and safe. And I was like, oh, I appreciate men for doing that. And he was included because he did take me out and buy me things. He got triggered. He would get triggered off of that stuff. It's like things that I would do would trigger him. Like, I shouldn't be triggering you because you said you were single. Like, but then I would see he would start following people. Like, as everyone knows, you don't see my list go up. I'm not following a bunch of dudes. You know what I mean? I noticed he started following like more and more people, and I'm like, okay, well, I can't care too much, but I was like, he didn't show me any attention. Wasn't liking my photos. I noticed he was liking certain people's. There was one person on there who had like a similar name to Avishai that he was liking on Instagram. And so I asked him about it. I said, I feel like you're dealing with someone. And my intuition, I was like, is it a coworker? Like, I kind of felt like he was dealing with a coworker at his job. That's just what I kept picking up. Like, it was a coworker. This was someone from Utah. He was not melanated either. And I don't discriminate. I've dealt with various people from different regions, whether it was Italy, whether it was Poland, whether it was America, whether they were melanated, whether they were non-melanated, whether they were from Puerto Rico, whether they were a criminal, whether they weren't a criminal. I didn't discriminate as long as they treated me right. In this case, I didn't make a good decision. So I was telling him, I was like, listen, you know, I said, I feel like you're dealing with so-and-so. And I basically reached out to him. He took communication as arguing when I'm just trying to put it on the table. Like, let me know what you're doing. So we could either just be friends or nothing, or I don't know, because I'm not going to stand for it. And he said he didn't cross me. He said he didn't, do this and that. But I noticed his text messages started getting longer. He wasn't responding right away. It took him like a whole freaking day to respond. And then one time I was like, he was saying he was busy and all this stuff, but he had time to like certain girls' photos on Instagram. Now, like I said, I don't really care that you like other people's photos. It's just the fact that you lied and said you were busy and all this stuff, and I could come over your house anytime and I'm the only one you're talking to, yet you're giving your attention to other people and other places, And he also said, like I said, he was single. There was no mention that he was with anybody. So if he was with anybody, he lied. I never knew that he was dealing with anybody. It seemed like people knew me, though. So I'm like, that's embarrassing. If you're dealing with him, he didn't tell me about you. But anyway, so I noticed, and then he wanted to move to a certain location where these women were. So I don't know if he stayed at Utah or if he went to Texas, like he was saying. He also wanted me to move in with him, but wasn't like, again, like I said, never bump your head. He wanted me to move in with him, but again, never really communicated with me, never followed through. The week before he left to go wherever he did, he didn't message me about anything. And I told him, I was like, listen, I don't think this is conducive for me. I want to cut this off. I told him I didn't want to see him again. I told him he was the worst person that I ever dealt with. And I meant that because it was true. And it's, I really liked him. So I didn't want to do that, but I felt forced to. It was really emotional abuse and mental abuse at the same time. And like I said, looking back, I think he just wanted me for one thing, although he didn't fully get that. And I didn't do anything because I was like, listen, I don't feel like you care about me. You don't get those privileges. So I withheld certain privileges that I freely give to people when I'm with them. I don't think you should deprive your partner of sex. I don't think you should deprive your partner of things that they like for you to do. I just don't. I think you should be free. I have too much Scorpio placements, too much Capricorn to be a damn nun when I'm dealing with somebody. But he didn't get any privileges because I was like, I feel like you don't care. So no, I'm not doing anything. And I didn't. I stayed over his house frequently, stayed the night. But I think I went over there like 3 times. It felt like multiple because I would stay till the next day. Sometimes, was it 2 days? It was 2 days I was with him. He didn't want me to go, but also wouldn't reach out to me to like see. It was weird. It was very weird. It was very, very weird. I'm not gonna mention his name, although I thought about it. It's not slander because I'm not mentioning his last name. But anyway, so when he started following people, I started noticing that there were like more eyes on my stories. It was weird because it would show like a little bubble there, like an extra, like for instance, say if it was like 30 people watching your story, but you would only see 29. It was some weird shit. So I felt like I was being stalked by someone. And let me tell you something. If he did go to another person, I don't really give a shit about that. But to whoever, if you did go to another person and that person knew about me, I'm going to confront the situation should I find it out. But if not, then I don't care. I don't care if someone just moved on. I don't give a fuck about that. But if you knew about me and you did that, first of all, that's nasty because you don't know what people did. You know what I mean? Second of all, like, you're a damn raccoon. Like I said before on my TikTok, you're a raccoon in a fucking garbage filled with maggots. That's disgusting. I don't deal with people who are with other people. I mean, if they're in an open relationship, that's different because obviously the person doesn't give a fuck. They're in an open relationship. If someone's in a closed one, or like I said, I wasn't in a relationship, so I didn't care what he was doing. That's why I kept asking him to be upfront so I could have other choices. But when someone has a problem with control, they want to control you. They don't want you to have other options. And so I didn't, because again, it wasn't clicking. I had a brain injury, which is a mistake I normally don't make. So, but if you did know about me in any capacity, like I said, I don't have dibs on dude, but you're a bitch. Like, that's disgusting. That's disgusting. I will tell you to your face. And that's sneaky too. Like with me, I'm the type of person, I'll do stuff in the front. First of all, I wouldn't deal with someone who I know is dealing with somebody else. That's nasty. And second of all, like I said, I would do it in the front. Like, that's so sneaky and shisty, you know? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's disgusting. I couldn't even confront the situation because I don't know where he went, who he moved on to. He didn't tell me shit. He didn't tell me anything. But I knew he did something and he did not deny it. He didn't deny it. And like I said, I don't have dibs, but don't lie about it. So I felt betrayed because he went from talking about children and talking about how he was going to wake up in the middle of the night and take care of our child and all this stuff and moving me in with him. To Texas, where he's moving to, to nothing. Like, I'm not talking to you for a week. I'm going to pay somebody else attention. Like I said, that's all well and good. You didn't have to lie about it. Didn't like communicating, saw communication as an argument. His whole birth chart is Sagittarius and Capricorn. So there's usually Sagittarians are good at communication because the opposite of them is Gemini. And so they're usually able to tap in, but sometimes people have a hard time. So I don't know. He was communicative before, so he doesn't have that much trouble communicating. He's just was a pussy. That's all. You're emotionally and mentally abusive. And you should be ashamed of yourself, because I know you're tuning in and watching from fake accounts or wherever the fuck. Because you are. Period. And so is whoever, if you're dealing with somebody. But good riddance, good riddance. And so I gave them ample opportunity to make things right or whatever. But I'm not looking for anybody to make anything right. I've made peace with it. I don't really care. I like where my life is going. I feel more peaceful. And that's basically what that was. That's basically what that was. But I was upset because my brain kept going to the fact that, you know, I was just enraged because I'm like, no, I want to confront the situation. No, who did he go over to? Oh, this person did know about me. My brain kept going there. I don't know if it's due to my brain injury or just, I was just upset. Because I'm the type of person that no one usually disrespects me like that and betrays me in that way and gets away with it. No one gets away with it. No one. And I'm going to tell you a little story. I'll never forget, someone did something to someone that I loved dearly, like family. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go on Barber Street. This was years ago. I'm going to go on Barber Street. And I'm going to do something to them. And I'm not going to say what I was going to do. But it was by myself. It was by myself. Because I'm big on respect. And a relative that I cared about said, don't do that. So they talked me out of it. But if I say that I'm going to do something, I will do it. But I do not have a criminal record. I stay out of trouble. If I do have a temper and my rage, I will put it into something conducive and productive and creative because I know how I am. And that to me was a disrespect. So at this point, I'm thinking, you know, how to remedy that. He don't want to remedy this situation. How am I going to right this motherfucking wrong right now? Because like I said, don't nobody cross me because they got mad respect for me. I'm going to tell you right now. People who get straight out of prison with horrible criminal records come straight to me and talk to me. Because you know why? They recognize that same energy. People don't play with me in real life. So I don't like when people go behind my back and do stuff. And like I said, I don't give a F if it wasn't a commitment. You don't lie and put me in harm's way. Like I said, you're dealing with someone on a physical, intimate level, and then you're dealing with someone else on a physical, intimate level. And I didn't give, you didn't tell me about that. That's disgusting. You know? So I just felt it was disgusting. Like, you're a disgusting individual. You're an entity, like a nothing. A nobody, you know, when you do shit like that. And like I said, if the other person knew about me, if he did go with another, like I said, I don't know. So it's just me thinking of stuff. But I mean, most men aren't celibate, y'all. They're not celibate. I guess that was supposed to teach me a lesson. No. Nope. People have mad respect for me in person. We grew up differently. I grew up differently. See, sometimes, like I said, people, when you're kind to them, they take your kindness for weakness, think you're some weak, naive bitch. You ain't gonna do shit. Oh, you're not gonna blah, 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 blah. He did say he was scared of me. But you weren't that scared to be lying to people. So I don't know what it was. For all I know, he could have had another life somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But what have you. So that's what happened in that situation. I didn't move on to another person. I made it very clear that other people have treated me like an empress and I have options. And that's facts. I never moved on to anybody else afterwards. I worked on myself. I worked on my career. I don't pounce on another person because I'm lonely and I just need somebody. I'm not a desperate ass bitch. If I go for someone or even so much as pay attention to someone or admire someone or listen to someone, take that and run with it. Because I don't do that with everybody. I'm very picky. I'm very picky. And some people may say, well, you weren't that picky. You know, you need to be more picky in terms of that. You know, we all have things, you know, we're healing from. And that just showed me that I needed to maintain my focus and put myself first on a consistent basis, and, you know, don't get wrapped up and tangled up, and don't think, you know, someone else is gonna help you, or don't put your eggs in, you know, one basket if someone's not gonna be serious and committed to you and all about you. And so that was a lesson in that. But I don't like that. Like I said, I don't know if he went to somebody, if he's married. I don't know if he was having money issues and that was the issue, because he was talking about we couldn't go to Park City anymore and the best he could do is this, and he can't give to me right now. I don't know if he was just saying that because he was giving to somebody else, which also never happened to me. And at this time, like I said, it was not a good time in my life. I am used to being 120 to 125 pounds. When I saw him, I was 137 pounds. 137 pounds, in between hairdressers, or just got a hairdresser who wasn't that familiar with my hair. So what else was going on? Other people were still looking at me though, but it just wasn't up to par for him. I don't know if he was low-key racist. I don't know if he was used to having women who were not melanated, because I saw some of the women that he followed. You know, I don't know if I wasn't his type, if he liked bushy eyebrows and skinny people, or just like plain jeans, or just like, and I don't really care, you know. I don't know what the hell, because he was talking about, oh, well, we have differences and there's too many differences right now. I feel like people are giving their opinions. A lot of people don't like tattoos. They don't like how blunt I am. They knew my family was from Hartford. There's a lot of violence and gang activity at Hartford, Connecticut, so I guess I wasn't good enough type shit, because people are from Utah and I'm from Hartford, and I'm proud to come from where I came from. Even though I did live in Newington, my whole family's from Hartford, and I'm still proud of that. And that's what made me a hustler like I am. And maybe you need to go to Hartford so you can hustle too, to get you some money, bruh. Any fucking way. Shout out to Hartford. Shout out to all the projects. Because what the fuck is that? So that too. I was older than him too, which I normally don't like go for. You know, it was an age gap. He seemed mature at the time, but people wear many fucking faces, so who the fuck knows? Maybe my name earrings were a bother too. I don't fucking know. Maybe my Lologre was a bother. Oh, she's in a gang, it's gang activity, or some bullshit. Or she knows people in gangs. She grew up around gangs. And that's why I have loyalty. Maybe you needed to grow up around gangs too. You would have had more loyalty, motherfucker. Anyway, so people just had a lot to say in regards to that. So yeah, so I don't know if he got somebody pregnant, he married. I don't give a fuck as long as I'm at peace. So right now I'm at peace. I'm not dealing with that crap. Red flags. Let's go over the red flags. So the red flags in men are they lie. They lie. Flag. What else is a red flag? If they are dealing with you, like I said, if they start following a bunch of people and they're supposed to just be liking you, that's a red flag. You know, those are the main red flags. You know, a real man is not going to put you in competition with other people. I think, you know, people need to realize what that does to someone's system. You know, you're putting someone in a competition, you want them to compete for you. I mean, real men, they know right off the bat who they want. You know, it shouldn't be a competition thing and none of that. What's another red flag? If they're purposely trying to trigger you, trying to get a reaction out of you, that's not good. That's emotional abuse. Like, someone who cares about you wants your nervous system to be regulated. They don't want to take you out of character. And trying to get a reaction out of you versus talking is so obsolete. It's just really bottom of the barrel mentality. You know, someone who cares about you is going to communicate with you. You know, yes, I'm a psychic medium. You know, yes, I can read people's minds, but sometimes spirit will not have me to do that because it's meant for the person to speak. You know, I don't, you know, that's a mind game. Someone's playing mind games with you. A way you'll know they're playing a mind game with you is if they give you a little bit of attention, but then let's say they'll pop out with somebody. So they were leading you on, giving you little trickles of breadcrumbs, and the way that you can avoid that is don't buy into it. You know, so if they're feeling hot and cold, you know, they say one thing, but their actions don't follow, that's another red flag. So those are some of the red flags. If they start following girls who are similar to you or like similar things, they're trying to make you compete with them. Don't do that. If you're out with one of them and they compliment somebody else in front of you, they are grooming you to be their bitch, basically, to be manipulated. They're grooming you to be manipulated. And so, again, you want to avoid that at all costs. What's another red flag? Another red flag is them talking down at you. Like, I'll never forget, I had a boyfriend who would say ill to me when I would wear makeup. Because they didn't like makeup, they would say, oh, you have a scar on your face. Oh, and it was constant. And I was like, you know what, dude? I'm not dealing with you. So a proper thing to say, if you communicated fucking correctly, would be, listen, I think you're beautiful and I'd love to see you without makeup on your face. Could you not wear makeup some days? Or don't deal with someone who wears makeup and likes it. That's it. Or you could do that, motherfucker. Like, communication is key. Like I said, I'm a Virgo rising, Gemini dominant. If you do not communicate with me, that is literally one of my main love languages. I'm not going to deal with you. I do not deal with people who don't communicate. If you don't communicate, I'm not dealing with you. Because it's weird. Like, what the hell? Or investing in you in some way. They don't even give a fuck if you, like, ate. Are you doing okay? Like, I did have a brain injury. You know what I'm saying? And I live by myself. So like, are you okay would help, you know, every once in a while. Like, but if you have to tell someone to do that, it's a red flag. Someone should naturally care about you. If they're not trying to see you, they just want to text you all the time, that's a red flag. Now, the last one I dealt with, they did want to see me. Like, they genuinely liked being around me, but then it was weird. I had to wait till I saw them at the gym to do that. I was like, listen, this motherfucker doesn't want to see me. And like I said, that was a bad time in my life. I had lost a couple of clients who had lied. I was getting over a brain injury. I had, I had to pay somebody back because it was just a rough time. Like, I was really not well, like traumatic brain injury. I almost died 6 months before that. And I was just like stress eating. I was just overweight. I didn't feel like myself. So when I met the person, it's always at a vulnerable state when you meet these crappy people, man. It's always at a vulnerable fucking state. Right after he left, though, I lost weight. I started losing weight when he was still here, but it was hard to lose it. I was like, damn, because I would always emotionally eat because I felt like shit. He made me feel like shit. And I allowed him to make me feel like shit. So I take accountability for that, for the accountability police. Fuck you. There's always someone like, but you should take accountability, bitch. I'm taking it, bitch. So yeah, it was just like, I was just like, girl. So I couldn't fit my clothes or anything. Like my dress, I couldn't fit shit. I still looked cute though. Like the owner of the pizza place was looking at me, but I wouldn't dare say that to him because we were on a date and that's disrespectful. But people were looking at me. The Uber driver was looking at me. The person at the, I think he was insecure, but he projected that onto me like I was insecure because I remember he said, you look good. And I was like, child, no, I don't. And that's weird for that to come out of my mouth. And I was like, why'd you say that just now? Because I didn't feel like I did. I didn't feel like I did when I saw him at the gym. I had on an oversized shirt. Although I did look cute, it was like I was, you know how you feel forced to wear an outfit that you are like, this is not what I would normally wear to the gym. Because I'm used to like cinching shirts and like I had to wear an oversized shirt. My pants were, I was like, girl. The sneakers that I had, it wasn't like name brand or anything. I had on that hat to cover up my hair because the hair was not hairing like the hairs now. So I guess it wasn't good enough for that bitch. But anyway, probably watching this getting upset because see, people get upset when you call them names or you say something like that, but they don't get upset that the way you treated that other people is the same as them calling you a name. So too motherfucking shay, okay? But right after he left, that's when I lost weight and I was at peace and I felt better. I got my work done. It was hard to work. Like I was very depressed. September, I was depressed. My mom was so happy that I had found somebody. And I had told her about him. She was really happy, you know, she's happy. And then here I go crying and shit. And I'm like, bitch, you are really crying. I'm gonna blame that on the head injury too. I cried. I bawled my eyes out. It was bad. I think I cried more because of the disrespect. Like I thought people like plotted. Like I thought he went with someone who knew about me. I thought it was playing like a one-up kind of thing. I don't like that shit. That offended my Scorpio and Capricorn placements to the max. And Cancer, I was like, oh no, motherfuckers. I know he did finance or they did. I know he worked in finance or was trying to do real estate. I don't know what else he's doing. You know, hopefully people aren't selling fake shit. We're not going to go into detail. Just hope people aren't selling fake shit. So, because people sell fake shit. I'm not saying he's selling fake shit, but hopefully people aren't selling fake shit. That's it. Got him. So, and if anybody's trying to ruin my life, first of all, motherfucker, you don't have that clout like I do in terms of law or anything. And you're in the wrong. If someone knew about me, y'all are in the wrong. Because I sure as hell ain't know about another fucking person. So if y'all on that narcissistic shit, I'm gonna ruin somebody's life, you got another thing fucking coming. you got another thing fucking coming. Because I got receipts and I tell the truth. And I got more receipts than the receipts you think I fucking have. Okay. Period. And I just won a fucking case. I ain't never lose one. Do you know how to lean businesses? I didn't think so. Okay. So, those are red flags. If someone does not want to be with you at your worst, they don't like you. Because let me tell you something. There's this football player. I always meet football players. Some were good ones, though. That motherfucker wasn't. But anyway. There was this football player one time that I met, years ago at the gym. He's with somebody now, and they're an amazing couple, and congratulations to y'all. But I was at my worst. That's when I didn't know I had kidney failure and liver damage. So my skin was very dark, but it was dark in the capacity. It was dark, like a grayish dark. It wasn't that beautiful, dark chocolate dark that I love to see. Like I said, I don't discriminate, y'all. I don't discriminate. If you're attractive, period. No matter what skin color you look like, to the last motherfucker. Differences my fucking ass. What you liked, by the way. But we're not gonna go into detail about that. Anyway. Anyways, I'm not saying in what capacity. He could have just like physically liked the way it looks. I'm not saying anything other than that. But anyway. So I was also overweight. I was like in the 150s and the 160s. And this was when my hair wasn't growing. I remember he told the gym owner, he said, hey, I want you to reach out to her. This person, this was a sweetheart. This was not a trainer at that gym. This is someone who they play overseas? Is it overseas? They play in another country now. But they were into football, but they play in another country now. They're verified and like all that stuff. And so that was a green flag. People who, he thought I was beautiful at my worst, and I was sickly. So I didn't want to date him because he was still in college. I was sick. I was like 5 years older than him. It just didn't sit right with me. But he was a very kind person, loved his mother, wasn't a mama's boy, but loved his mother. Like, he's the type of person, if he likes you, then the mother would. Not, oh, I like you, my mother doesn't though. Kind of person. So that was him. And like I said, congratulations to him and all his endeavors. Because he was a true sweetheart, man. He was a sweetheart. So that'll be a long, an eternal relationship, as it should be. And I'm sending you positive vibes and positive thoughts. I love seeing people in love. Even people that I don't like. It's weird. Like... Even people that I don't like for good reason, I'm like, oh, they're in love. Because I don't know. It's just like, it gives me hope. Like, I don't fucking know, y'all. We got to figure that one out. Like, Abishai, like, why? But anyway, so we'll move into green flags now. So green flags, someone who checks on you, someone who communicates with you, someone who wants to see you. They don't always want to text you all day. They know that your time is money, because everyone's time is money. You know what I mean? So are they trying to invest in you? Are they trying to make your life easier? A dude that really loves you will try to make your life easier. And I will go back to my high school days when I dealt with an older dude. I know it wasn't schools too. They were older. He would pick me up from school. We would chill at his house. What else? He was always on time to call me. Like, it was like clockwork. Or if I called him, because I was younger than him, it was high school, naive. Every day at like 2:30, he was right there, y'all. I remember someone rode their bike from New Britain to Newington just to see me. This was a drug dealer. But let me tell you, them drug dealers, they are faithful. They were faithful. He came with a lot of money too. He made sure I was good. I was very close with his family. His family would call me. I would call him. He would call me, like clockwork. Get on the grind like clockwork. It was like clockwork. So they would make sure you were good. If they saw you were stranded, they would reach out to you and see if you needed, I don't know, a ride. And if they couldn't be there, they would find you a ride or a boat or a plane or something, you know, to show that they cared. I remember, and that's how I knew that I was not going to deal with this person for long, because I remember I was at Starbucks and a random dude was like, hey, you, and I was not going to get in the car with him. He was like, you good? He was looking at me like, what's Shorty doing out? I looked good too. He was like, what's she doing out? People actually, men, when they see me waiting for like an Uber, because I can't, you know, with traumatic brain injury, I'm not driving at the moment. It's been a year now. But anyway, they get upset when they see me like waiting or anything. It infuriates them. They're like, do you need a ride? Like, it infuriates them. That's a real man. It should infuriate them when you're not okay. Or when you need something, it should infuriate them. They should make it better. For instance, if you're moving to someplace, they want to help you. Minor things, you know, minor things. Or they'll check on you, you know. Like I said, they'll make an effort. People will make an effort. And to me, that's just the bare minimum. That's just the bare minimum, you know. They should be planning, you know, planning trips, planning dates. If they can't plan a trip or plan a date, then they should pay for you to go on one. You know, they should invest in your business. They want to see you happy. And I've been with people who were like that. They want to see you happy. And like I said, even my, you know, someone I considered a brother, when I couldn't walk and move and I was in a rut and homeless and staying with a relative, they went and got me groceries. And I was like, oh, thank you. They're so thoughtful. Or took me to go get groceries. Like, do something, motherfucker. Like, you know? So those are green flags. You know, people will go above and beyond. You won't have to ask them. They'll see what you like. They'll just go and get it. Like, you got to spell it out you got to spell it out for people. You know, you shouldn't have to do that. You should not have to do that. So those are green flags. You know, holes in the door for you. Respecting your boundaries, being able to compromise. You know, if you don't want them following a bunch of women, they should respect, if you're in a committed relationship. Now, this is for people who are committed. If you're in a committed relationship and you tell someone, listen, I don't want you following a bunch of people, and they fight you on that, it's like, well, go ahead, go on and fall in love with cyberspace. I won't be around. So then you take those privileges away. If you were having sex with them, if you were cooking for them and cleaning for them and you're married, or you should be doing that if you're married. If you're dating them, you shouldn't be doing that. But if you're, you know, engaged or married or whatever, leave them alone. That's a red flag, right? That dries everything up. You shouldn't even feel wet. Excuse me, guys. Excuse me, excuse me, because it's Avi Unfiltered, but you shouldn't even feel wet anymore. But anyway, I respect men who, if they are non-committal, they say, I'm non-committal, but I like you and I'm willing to invest in you or do such and such and such and such. You know? Let me decide if I want to deal with you and a bunch of other, and Susie Q and a bunch of other people. Let me decide that. You don't decide that for me, because that's nasty. And that's coercion. That's nasty. You in another bitch's ass, and then you in my ass, and then you in another ass. Like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. That's just disease ridden, you know? It all depends on who they're dealing with. But let me decide if I want that kind of arrangement. Don't decide that for me. Like, I'm gonna act like I'm a commit And then I'm going to slowly reel her in. No, tell me from Jump Street. Don't be reeling me in. This ain't reels on Instagram, bitch, okay? You know, so let me decide if I want to do that. I may or may not consider. I may or may not. But I also am like I said, I'm possessive and territorial. Like, why am I not the only one? The fuck? I think people were more committal in high school. Like I said, I dealt with players. I dealt with people in gangs. I dealt with drug dealers. They were faithful. So I don't know. Society is just different. They don't want one woman. I don't know if it's because they're not spiritually adept. Because if you're spiritually adept, you can find a whole universe in one woman. And I mean, and a lot of the women that men mess with, they have basic sex too. It's like basic bitchy sex. And then you don't get to the people who are actually the freak nasties or freakiest freaks, because you keep going for people who portray themselves as freaks, and they're not even as freaky as the other people could be if you just committed to one. But you need all these people just to satisfy your needs, which they're really not being met because they're giving you basic bitchy sex. But anyway, it's whatever. Maybe that's why I'm so picky, because I know what I possess. So I'm just like, oh, it's never a loss for me. I also don't deal with people who try to do like tit for tat. Like, if you dealt with someone that I know, or you're still dealing with someone that I know, or you trying to deal with like a friend, a relative, all of that shit, I'm fed the fuck up. I don't feel like dealing with nobody. If you someone that keeps secrets and stuff, if you're someone who keeps secrets and you like to do nasty shit like that, I'm not dealing with you. You don't have no integrity. And see the way my temper is set up? I will ruin your life, period. I will do that. Like, you will have nothing. You will have nothing. Nothing. It will be you in the bitch in an alleyway. See if you get hard then, motherfucker. See if you get wet then, bitch. Doing that shit. I don't tolerate that. I don't tolerate that. Make sure that you let me know up front so I know how to maneuver and navigate away from your ass. I don't want to be put in those predicaments. If you're the type of person, that's why I don't trust people who deal with a lot of women. Because I'm like, who are you dealing with? I may know them. You know, I don't have a lot of friends. You know what I'm saying? And most of my relatives, they have people. But you just don't want to deal with that. Who wants to deal with that? You know, it's just drama. And so I'm at a stage in my life, I'm not dealing with no drama. I'm not. I like my stomach to digest properly. I'm not trying to feel the damn butterfly mosquitoes fighting. I'm not trying to go to the bathroom 5 to 10 times a fucking day because I'm nervous. I'm not trying to wonder what the hell somebody is doing. I'm not trying to do all that shit. You know, I've never been jealous though. That's one thing about me, because I always see myself. I'm not a jealous person. So if you're with someone trying to get a reaction out of me, you won't, because I don't give a fuck. I have too much. I have Aquarius placements in Gemini. I don't care. And I have a bunch of Leo in my big six. All I see is me, honey. I have a bunch of luminaries in my big six. I'm the biggest one on the planet. I'm the main character. I don't see anybody. So if you want me to get mad, I'm not going to get mad, because I don't think they look better. I don't think they are better. There is no one I think is better. Maybe in another person's eyes, not in mine. You're not going to make me see myself as, oh, that person's better. I always know that there is something better for me, because I'm better in my own eyes. I know I'm chosen. I know I'm gifted. I know what I possess. Period. And I know I'm in divine alignment with source, and I know I'm not a jacked up ass fucking person. I know I'm loyal. I don't lie to people. So I'm going to get exactly what I deserve from creator, spirit, angels, divine source. So, and don't put me in no bullshit, because they're, let me tell you, people will chime in and tell who really know me. They had to talk me out of stuff. I will really go on streets where they shoot people in broad day and get you back if you do anything to me or anyone that I love by myself. I've always been that way. I have always been that way. That's why people leave me alone. They leave me right the fuck alone. That's why some of us preserve our energy and stay quiet. You won't see me on the internet giving people fucking airtime, going back and forth and shit, because what the fuck is that? Because I used to do that before. Then when I would see them in person, oh, I just love what you're wearing. I just love what you have on. Then when I see them in person, a bitch had a panic attack. So know who you're dealing with before you want to play games and before you deal with people. Because some of us really aren't playing. And some of us really know how to lean businesses. But that's for another topic. But who am I though? Just some weak, naive ass bitch. Right? Yeah, I don't think so. It doesn't matter about anybody's status either. Doesn't even matter, because I'm still above that, legally and lawfully. But we're not going to go into that. We're not going to go into that. Okay, so food for brain health, okay? So omega-3s, omega-6s are excellent for brain health. You can find them in nuts and seeds, coconut oil, avocado oil, okay? Also, spiritual food, meditation. That's what helped me heal. Meditation, positive affirmations. What else? Being around positive people, people who impart in you, people who see the good in you, people who also see where you can elevate, people who are honest with you is good for your brain health. Things like essential oils that are great for brain health are, Spirit said Roman chamomile. I also heard government too when I was talking about the law stuff. So excuse me, Spirit, sorry for saying that a bit late. Roman chamomile, peppermint is great. In Tune, that's doTERRA blends. I love that. The Focus blend is also great. What else? Myrrh, frankincense. You can massage it in your head. I use helichrysum to close this up. This scar on my head, which is sexy as fuck. And what else did I use on my head? Peppermint to massage that in. You could do rosemary too. Lavender. So great for brain health. Vetiver. And diffusing those essential oils. So it's excellent. Those are the main foods that are excellent for brain health. Fruits, veggies, mainly berries. I'm a berry person and melon person. Shout out to Dr. Morse, because he's what really got me on the fruits. And I love berries. I remember it was hard for me to stick with, like, when I first started, it was hard for me to stick with just berries. I was a Medjool date banana person. I was like, I can't live without Medjool dates and bananas. Now I don't eat them at all. I don't eat them at all, man. I remember I would get, my mom and I would order from this farmer's market, Fresh Farmer's Market. Shout out to them. I forgot your name. I know it starts with an N. They were so sweet. So I would order them. It was like 60 Medjool dates I would eat in a day. And then I would make ice cream with 9 bananas. And I remember it made me so dizzy after, but those were so good. So, so good, man. So, so good. But, you know, took a toll because it was like really, really sweet. So now I like melons. I love berries. I love blueberries, strawberries, blackberries. I think blackberries are my favorite out of all the berries. watermelon, cantaloupe. Honeydew melon is a favorite. That will always be my favorite. That's been my favorite for years. Now they have the white watermelon as well, because I don't discriminate. Because people discriminate. I don't discriminate. I don't discriminate. I don't discriminate. I don't. Shoot, if you're attractive, shit, you're attractive as hell. So we don't do that with people. We don't do that with fruit. I don't discriminate, y'all. I will be with whoever I want. So, and say something about it. And say something about it. And see if I don't tell you something. For real, I don't care. If I like them, you like them, or you could walk that way. You could walk it out, period. Don't nobody have time for the bullshit. Okay. So those are the fruits. Oranges too, pineapple. Sometimes I crave pineapple, but I mostly like drinking the juice. So if you do drink the juice, make sure it's diluted, okay? And next week we'll talk more about some health things and stuff, you know, not as much as this. I hope this episode did help you guys. And you got a lot out of it. I don't want to talk about this situation no more. I don't care anymore. It's beautiful outside. I'm beautiful. Y'all are beautiful. If you listening in and you're not a fucking hater, okay? And I just, you know, appreciate life. So definitely incorporate that into your daily diet. Also, there's brain supplements on herbs and tinctures on Dr. Morse's website, which I will link in the description box below, and Dr. Furman's website. And so definitely look out for that. And I will see you in the next episode. Have an unfiltered day and see you next week.